What's up, everybody? This is Matt Hines. This is the Exercise Science and Culture Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode 18. And today I want to talk to you about, I'm asking the question, do you want fitness results? And if you do, well, there's a number of things that you can do, but I think one of the things to think about is varying your exercise stimulus. In other words, doing different things. And specifically, I'm going to talk about cycling exercise. So you're going to do a certain set of exercises or a certain activity for a while, and you're going to consistently do that, and you're going to get really good at it. But then you may take a break from that and introduce something else. But we're trying to find this balance between, okay, we don't want to do the same thing all the time, but also perhaps if there's too much variation, that will be, well, we want to find the optimum. We want to find the optimum. And there's one concept that I want to bring forth that I think is really applicable. I don't know if I've really talked about the bell-shaped curve, okay? Can you imagine the bell-shaped curve here, and it goes down, and in the middle is optimum performance. I think I have talked about this in terms of doing too much too soon too often. Well, I mean, if you don't do anything ever, you're going to be down here. If you do just the right amount, you're going to be at peak performance. And if you do too much, that will also be detrimental. So you can also think about the bell-shaped curve in terms of what you're doing, how much of it you're doing, when you're doing it. Okay, so my question was, do you want fitness results? And I think to a lot of people who may be tuning into this, we have a goal that is related to our metabolism. So we want to rev up our metabolism, we want our metabolism to be high. If our metabolism is too low, which I think if we're struggling to find opportunities to be physically active, we're going to be challenged by this. Our metabolism may be sort of at a lower level. And we can apply the bell-shaped curve principle to this as well. If your metabolism is too high, it may start to affect your sleep, your mood, other things. If you're doing too much, then that will be detrimental. But I think a lot of us are looking to, we're just trying to find that medium level. And I think, again, for people who are not physically active currently, we are looking to rev up the metabolism. So how do we do this? And then how do we keep it that way? So I guess this video today is really for folks who have been doing something, they are consistent, but maybe they feel they're at a plateau. So if you can apply some variety to the type of exercise stimulus that you're getting, I think this could be really beneficial. Okay, so are you somebody that does the same exact routine? You've been doing the same exact routine for years, or maybe just months. Look, I think something is better than nothing, absolutely. And if you have a routine that you love to do and you want to stick to it, by all means, I'm not going to object to that at all. I'm just going to say that there perhaps will be some benefit to adding some exercise variety, adding some variety to your moves. Or at least, you can also do the same movements, but you can change the stimulus in the set and rep scheme or the duration of an exercise that you're doing. For instance, let's say you love to do bench press. You never want to stop doing bench press. Well, I think that's fantastic. But if you're always going in and you're doing 4 sets of 8 at 135 pounds or whatever it may be, so you're always doing the same sets, reps, and resistance, well, obviously your body is already well adapted to that. So you're not necessarily going to be affecting your metabolism by continuing to do that exercise. Likewise, let's say you come in and you do the bicycle for 30 minutes and you do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you've been doing this for years. Well, kudos to you for being consistent. That's fantastic. But I think you may actually have a more enjoyable experience and you may be able to affect your metabolism and make a breakthrough if you add some variety to it. And it can be as simple as this. It can be as simple as, okay, on Monday, ride for 20 minutes. On Wednesday, ride for 30 minutes. And on Friday, ride for 40 minutes. And even if you add just that little bit of variety, at least in a short term, you'll be able to affect your metabolism. You will see a change in your metabolism. And also you're thinking to vary your pace. So that 20-minute ride, you're going to be able to ride at a higher pace, which will actually stimulate. That's the one that's going to really stimulate your metabolism. And then obviously on the 40-minute one, that's going to be slower. That you're going to be riding at a slower pace for that. So that's just a very simple example of how you can vary your exercise stimulus using the same exercise. And that, by the way, is an application of the waved training approach. You're waving your exercise stimulus. Now let's take the bike again, that same example. And let's say, okay, so like I said, if you add that change, you're going to see an effect on your metabolism for a while. But if you continue to do that same thing for a long time, you're going to level out. You're no longer going to be having to adapt to that. Your body's already going to be adapted to that. So how do we continue? We know we want to keep riding the bike. We love the bike. And the bike is an awesome thing to do for metabolism. But how do we keep progressing on the bicycle? Okay, so and I like 6-week cycles, okay? So cycling is a concept. Cycling, and what is one cycle of exercise? Well, let me just put it this way. So I like 6-week cycles. So you're going to do something. You're going to do that 20-minute bike ride once a week for 6 weeks, and that will be one cycle. Also in that cycle is that one time a week of the 30-minute ride, and then there's the one time a week 40-minute ride. So that's going to be your schedule during this 6-week cycle. Okay? So, previously you had just been doing a 30-minute ride every single time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So now I'm saying, okay, this cycle, you're going to do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to do it 20 minutes and 30 minutes and 40 minutes. And you're going to keep that up for 6 weeks. But then we got to make a change because we'll have adapted to that in 6 weeks. So what can we do next? Well, this next cycle, let's structure the next cycle a little bit differently. This time, we're going to add an interval. You're still going to do a 20-minute ride on Monday, a 30-minute ride on Wednesday, and a 40-minute ride on Friday. But this time, you're going to vary your tempo within a workout. So this time, you're going to do 1 minute at a fast pace and 1 minute at a slower pace. So you'll cycle really fast for 1 minute, and then you'll go slower for the next minute. And you can do that for each of the days. For all of your biking, that's your approach that you're going to do. 1 minute fast, 1 minute slow. And there again, it's going to change your metabolism. So you can keep it going. And you can see what this is doing now over time, over cycles. It's like a wave. Because you introduce a new stimulus, you're going to see a change in your metabolism, and then you're going to level off and maybe even drop. But then you introduce another new stimulus, and you see a change. And if you're a young person and you're doing this approach, you will be progressing. Absolutely. And even people into their 60s, up until I would say into your 60s, you can see this upward progression. Once you get past 60, this may be, aging with grace is something that is so desirable and honorable. And so at this level, if you were physically active through your whole life up to age 60, inevitably you will be seeing that the wave is going to be going down. But you can apply this principle for graceful aging. So lastly, varying your stimulus. So I just used an example of the bicycle, and I also gave the example of the bench press. You can think about the bench press varying your stimulus. Okay, so you did bench press 2 times a week, 4 sets of 8 at 135. That was previously how you were cycling this. You want to keep benching. You want to make progress now. So let's change the stimulus. You're going to do now, you got the 2 times a week. So the 1 time a week, you're going to do 4 sets of 10 repetitions. And it's probably going to be at a lower weight, so 115. And then the next day of the week, you're going to do 4 sets of 6 repetitions. And you'll probably be able to start out with 155 for that 4 sets of 6. Okay. And so that's 1 week of working out, and we're going to do 6 weeks to make up 1 cycle. But here's the thing on the bench press, if you want to make, you can keep each week doing 4 sets of 10 at 115, and then the next time you're doing 4 sets of 6 at 155. But I bet you can try to push it a little bit. So the next time we go through the second week, you're going to do 4 sets of 10 at 120 pounds. And then the 4 sets of 6 will be at 160. Okay. And then the next week, the third week, you're going to go up to 125 for the 4 sets of 10. And you're going to go up to 165 for the 4 sets of 6. We were here. And now for the fourth week, let's deload a little bit. Let's go back to 4 sets of 10 at 120, 4 sets of 6 at 160. But then you're building back up. 4 sets of 10 at 125, 4 sets of 6 at 165. And then that 6th week, you're going to peak. You're going to do 4 sets of 10 at 130 pounds, and you're going to do 4 sets of 6 at 170 pounds. See what happened there? We've got a little wave within 1 cycle. All right, and there's the possibilities are endless, but I'm manipulating 1 factor, and I'm introducing a slightly different exercise stimulus, not doing too much, but just doing the right amount. And that, my friends, is one of the keys to getting fitness results, to revving up your metabolism and to keeping it high or keeping it at its optimum level. So thank you to Eliza, Michael, Jeff, and Joe for tuning in live here. If you guys have any comments or questions, please shoot me a message. I'm actually really excited about next week's. Actually, I'm going to do that in 2 weeks. So next week, I'm hoping to have another guest on. And if you're somebody who has a fitness experience that you would really love to share, a positive fitness experience, and not necessarily just a fitness professional, maybe even somebody who has worked with a coach and has had a positive experience, I might have one of my clients on very soon to share their experience, because you can hear it from me all you want, but there are a lot of people that I'm working with and the other coaches are working with that are having just a fantastic experience with that, and maybe have made a lot of progress in the last couple of weeks. And then, so 2 weeks from now, I'm going to talk all about my clients' experience, my experience with my clients over the last 12 weeks, which they have all gone through the 12-week challenge. And I want to share, I'm not going to give people's names away, but I'm just going to tell you the kinds of things that I was doing with people based on their physical assessments. And then we'll take a look at the results. We'll see how, if they progressed, and if they did, how so? And if not, what did we learn from that? Okay, so that's going to be really an interesting. We're conducting science here, so that's the way I look at it. At least it's like this is an experiment. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Peace be upon you.